day of April 2024. Good afternoon. I trust you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to News Now right here on TV47, the home of untold stories. My name is George Maringa. Here now is a glimpse of the stories making headlines at this hour. Death toll from last evening's Tana River boat accident continues to rise, mirroring the death and destruction from floods seen in Naivasha and elsewhere in the country. Many students and parents across the country stranded after Ministry of Education's announcement to postpone the school's reopening date catches many off guard.
Tungependa serikali kupitia kwa waziri wa elimu awe na mwelekeo muhimu wa kujulisha wazazi mapema.
And many parts of Kenya still marooned as the flooding continues following the relentless downpour. We thank you for choosing us to inform you. I'm at George Maringa _ across the social media platforms. To our top story on News Now, and just a week shy to reopening of schools for second term, according to the Ministry of Education's calendar, junior secondary school teachers have threatened to join doctors in the country on strike to push for the implementation of their demands. Speaking in Bungoma town, led by the Bungoma South JSS leader John Omalwa, the intern teachers have said that they will not work under internship, urging the government to employ them under permanent and pensionable terms. On the other hand, Kuppet teachers, led by their chairman David Barasa in Bungoma County, have vowed to unite with GSS teachers to demand their right, stating that no lessons will continue after school reopening next week.
We have shifted from 844 to CPC. You cannot expect to facilitate CPC, which is practical-oriented, without the materials which are very important to facilitate that one to happen. So what I'm urging the government is that despite the fact that doctors are doing demonstrations for their part, we as interns, teachers, we are also coming up and we are joining them soon, beginning today. As moguls, we are not going to let this behind. We are going to work hard to ensure that we fight for our own rights.
Sisi kama walimu tumeumia sana na serikali ulituahidi ya kwamba tukimaliza mwaka mmoja tutaweza kuingia katika PNP, lakini tunaona ya kwamba baada ya kutupa mkate mmeweza kutupea mawe. Tunaomba ya kwamba ukaweze kurekebisha na ili mradi tukaweze kuishi na tukaweze kufunza wanafunzi, mkaweze kutuconfirm. Shuleni hakuna masomo, tunasema kitu ambacho tunajua. Wanafunzi hawasomi, tunaenda shuleni tu. Vifo vingi vinatokea baadhi ya walimu wa GSS sababu ya stress and depression. Mmetuahidi ya kwamba tutakuwa confirmed. Ikifika ile mwezi ama mwaka hatukui confirmed, mnaruka.
Hawa jamaa wa JSS wameenda kotini na wamepata maamuzi ya koti ya kwamba si haki kuwa na walimu aina mbili ambao wako na same qualifications, same registrations, wana work under same conditions, wanalipwa mishahara mbili tofauti. Mmoja anapata 60,000 kitu, mwingine anapata stipend ya shilingi 20,000. Si haki. That is not just. That is not just.
The government that is not caring about teachers in this country. We are surprised as the union. How comes the government can employ some of the colleagues on PNP and others being employed on interns, as interns? As a union, we are demanding there will be no opening of schools unless teachers are confirmed. The government must put in mind that right now we do not have an interest of housing the money that has been collected to build houses in this country. Let that money be converted to convert teachers into the permanent and pensionable. And the same money, let it be used to bring doctors back to the hospital.
At least 103 Kenyans have lost their lives as a result of the heavy flooding in several parts of the country. 28,484 households have been affected, which represents at least 185,287 Kenyans. Now, according to the government spokesperson, Isaac Mwaura, he noted that this trend made the connection between these and the government's move to postpone the reopening of schools.
The government is constantly and keenly monitoring the flooding situation across the country with the aim of alleviating the human suffering that is occurring as a result of natural happenings and in other cases due to human errors. It is disturbing that we are losing lives due to avoidable deeds such as daring nature by staying in flood-prone areas, as well as a failure to be cautious about voluminous and fast-moving waters. As a government, we will continue to call on every Kenyan to prioritize personal safety and to take the necessary precautions during these uncertain times. And we are going to be issuing constant reminders through various government agencies on the lurking dangers of the floods, so that we urge everyone to be observant of any forms of danger, particularly flash floods, mudslides, and pre-announced threats of lightning. So that is something that we commit ourselves to be doing. And we are doing this because, like for the case of flash floods, it's not necessarily because it has rained, for example, here in Mombasa. And Mombasa is very prone to that because of the fact that all the water is coming downstream. That is what has happened in Homa Bay. That is also what has happened in Mai Mahiu. So it's not just raining, so you need to be very careful there. The country continues to experience heavy and persistent rainfall during the March, April, May, MAM long rainy season. The unfortunate results of these unfavorable weather patterns have included the destruction of property and infrastructure, displacement of families, and loss of lives. As you may be aware, due to the adverse weather conditions, schools have been highly impacted across the country, and the data that we've gotten from the various government agencies indicate that the learners and staff in some schools are unable to conduct any activities due to the severe nature of floods. This is because we actually, as a government, had earlier on said that we will only deal with individual schools because we did not want to have a blanket postponement of opening of schools. But then, because of the various reports that we have gotten through the Ministry of Education, it was found necessary very late in the day to communicate that, because it's better late than never, because sometimes if you leave it and then there are casualties of this, then we'll all be asking ourselves, then why did the schools have to open? And that is very sensitive, because children usually...
And still staying with the flood watch, of course, we've seen what has happened in Mai Mahiu area. We are now joined by our reporter, Willie Dennis Njiru, with the latest from an area that has experienced heavy devastation and loss of lives following the flooding that followed the bursting of banks of a local dam. Good afternoon, good evening, Willie Dennis Njiru. How are you, and how is the situation like on your end?
Thank you very much, George Maringa. I'm quite okay this evening, but as the situation has been, the mood here at Mai Mahiu is quite sad. Just to bring our listeners and viewers up to speed on what is actually the situation like. It's raining heavily right now. in this region of Maimahio, and everybody is not certain of what the rains will bring after what happened around between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. this morning, where the roads minister, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, actually confirmed the death of 45 Kenyans who were swept away as they were asleep last evening by a section of what is said to be a dam at the upper part of the escarpment at Maimahio. The Deputy President also has been here to console with the families of the affected families, and they have actually promised that in subsequent they are going to be supplying food and other essentials to make life bearable. And you remember, all these people, most of those people who resided on that area actually lived in their own premises. Nonetheless, we had a section of the place having a rental apartment, but most of those people cannot locate their loved ones. And the Red Cross has already set up a center where people may come and report their missing persons, so that this may be established from the mortuary or the hospitals, and then they could be able to tally their figures to ascertain that if any member of this area that was affected is actually missing or is around as and of now. Mariga, it has been quite a great day where the regional office of the Red Cross, and that is the administration, and you've seen there the national government taking initiatives to get here, and together with the county government also, where the county governor Susan Kihika was also here with the roads minister to try and alleviate suffering by donations that is in actually handy and has been promised to be delivered here before it is dark. Now, just to recap on what the minister said, he was very categorical on what we have already seen on our social platforms, where we have seen flooded roads or places where we are well conversant of, but are flooded, and no one is certain if the roads have actually caved in. And he has said it does not matter how conversant you are with on any road, but in regard to the situation as it is, nothing is to grapple about as the situation is, because the flash floods have now gone and blown out of proportion, and it is therefore need of every Kenyan to take care of self and other Kenyans, and to avert situations like we saw recently where people are just boarding trucks and buses to try and cross over. And he adds on this, I part and quote, "Your home is not running away from you, or at any moment you wait for the rain to subside and then you will get home safe and sound, other than taking risks and you end up losing life. And those young ones who depend on you and the family members, the extended family members, are left to suffer because of just a small fault, not making appropriate decisions on and such time as it is." So that is the situation as it is, Mariga, from my end. Perhaps maybe if you could have a question, I will be quick to answer as we continue preparing for the bulletin. And my colleague also, William Moige, is also going to be painting a picture on another dimension. We paint a picture on another dimension just to ensure that our viewers, wherever they are well painted with the situation as it is, and we could take caution on the situation on ground. Back to you, Mariga.
Thank you very much, Willie Dennis Njiru, for that very comprehensive report on that incident, especially in Naivasha, Maimahio specifically, and we shall be looking forward to more details. We'll let you go for now, but of course, as you gather more details and more info for us and our viewers in our subsequent bulletins. We've also seen what Kenya has had to say about the temporary closure of Maimahio Narok Highway, which Kenya would like to notify motorists and the general public about the closure of Maimahio Narok Highway. This and other reports, detailed, comprehensive reports will be coming your way in our subsequent bulletins. Several people are feared dead in a boat that was carrying at least 52 flood victims that capsized in Tana River County on Sunday amid heavy rains and flooding. Now, that is a situation that was reportedly, the boat was reportedly overloaded with evacuees from flooded areas and encountered rough waters, leading to the accident. Residents are now calling on the government to rescue a number of survivors who are trapped.
Ile boti ilikuwa inatakana ibebe watu 20 peke yake, watu 55 walipanda. Kwa kila mtu alikuwa anataka kwenda nyumbani. Ile shida tu ni mimi nimeona pale wale walikuwa wanataka kwenda Garissa kwao ilikuwa pale walikuwa wachache. Sasa kulikuwa na watu wengine ambao kwao haikuwa Garissa lakini walijazana pale. Na haikuwa because there was no law and order there. No, out of that 55 people, we struggled. I can't say anyone has rescued us. We rescued ourselves.
Ile boat kitu ambayo imefanya imezama ni overloading. Hakuna kitu kingine, ni overloading. Kama sio ile overloading, ile meli haingezama. Maana kumekuwa pale na boat 3. Lakini hii moja ilikuwa inajaribu kukimbizana na hii nyingine na ilikuwa imesahau kama ime overload. That's why in turn alafu ikamwaga watu ndani ya maji.
Members of GOtv teachers in Taita Taveta County are now threatening to take strong action against their membership if the leadership of the association does not stand up to seek justice. They decry, among other issues, the delayed election and now want the National Secretary General Akelo Misori to take action and correct issues in Taita Taveta County or else face mass defections to their sister union, NAT. Julius Mariki with the details.
Taita Taveta County teachers are now complaining for delayed election in the union and also complaining for justice and integrity in the union in Taita Taveta County. And now we'll be getting some opportunity to hear a section of the teachers who were addressing the media when they visited the GOtv office in Mwatate.
Kile ambayo mfanyika katika GOtv bila sisi kujuzwa. Jambo la kwanza, gari ambalo liko nyuma yetu linunuliwa na sisi kama viongozi hatukujulishwa. Wakati gari limenunuliwa hatukuhusishwa pia tujue ni pesa ngapi zilitumika kutoka katika kitita chetu kama BBF. Jambo la pili, tumefiwa sana na walimu wenzetu, tumefiwa na wazazi ambao ni walimu wetu. Na mwalimu akifiwa kuna hela ambazo hanapewa. Na mara nyingi hatujuzwi. Kwa mfano Taita kuna walimu karibu 7 walipoteza wazazi wao. Mwatate kuna mwalimu aliaga dunia. Lakini ukifuatilia, je, familia ilifaidika vipi kutoka katika kitita chetu cha GOtv? Hakuna ule uwazi.
The branch executive council has not given us any word about their meeting resolution on what they agreed on. Initially they told us that if the February date is not possible, then elections be held on 6th of April. That has elapsed too. So the teacher of Taita Taveta is asking, again, I am repeating, is asking, who are their representatives in this matter?
Something that is very serious now here. You see our logo here, it says service, justice and integrity. But that is what we are not seeing in our branch. There is no justice, there is no service. Kama tunaona mambo yetu hayatafuatiliwa na sheria haitafuatwa ya the constitution, then we'll have to do a petition which we shall send to the national office and a copy to the TSC and another one to the labor office so that our grievances are addressed. Na ikiwezekana tena tukiona haiwezekani kabisa, then we shall marshal our colleagues na tuombe TSC tukate union dues because we are not getting service for the same. Ama ikiwezekana tuende to our sister union NAT ambao wako tayari kutupokea. And their house seems to be more organized than ours.
Well, and those are some of the raised issues concerning the teachers here in Taita Taveta, and they are looking forward to see what the national office will do upon their issues. Reporting for TV47 from Taita Taveta County, I'm Julius Mariki. Mwakivo.
Thank you, Julius, for that. Siaya Governor James Orengo has petitioned the national government to release funds to the counties across the country for purposes of mitigating floods. He says that the national government must now be ready to deal with that disaster, which has claimed many lives so far. Orengo, who spoke during a fundraising at a church in Bondo constituency, accused the government of frustrating devolution by delaying remittances of funds to the counties. He lamented that counties are not getting funds at the right time and that several devolved units have not received their monies since February, a recipe to killing devolution.
The thing that is doing of killing our constitutional order is by delaying remittances to the counties. The counties are not getting their money in time. Like as we speak, most counties have not received money from February, March, April, and when that money will come, it will be at the end of the financial year. That is how Kenyatta killed regionalism, Majimbo, by denying funds. So I agree with Honorable Ruth Odinga when she says that President Ruto is killing devolution. If money cannot go to the counties at the time when the money should come to the counties, it is a clear strategy for killing devolution.
Now, many students and parents in different parts of the country are stunned after arriving at school and receiving information that the reopening of schools for the second term has been postponed until next week. The parents who were already en route struggled to alter their plans in the meantime as they criticized the government for the late communication.
Tungependa serikali kupitia kwa waziri wa elimu awe na mwelekeo muhimu wa kujulisha wazazi mapema. Hii mvua ilianza kitambo, lakini wakati wazazi walitaka kujua hawakuwa wanasema. Leo asubuhi kuna mzazi, mtoto anasoma Nairobi, mtoto anasoma Busia, mtoto anasoma West Pokot, ameuza kuku wake, ng'ombe, amepea mtoto fare na part of school fees ameenda shuleni. Wakati anafika shuleni asubuhi unasikia kwenye redio ati shule mpaka tarehe 6.
Wakati ambapo tunakuja wakati wa kufungua shule, hili si jambo la rahisi tu. Ni vyema kuweza kushirikiana na taasisi mbalimbali ili pawe wazi. Siku ya kufungua shule isikuwe ni swala ambalo linafanyika wakati wa usiku. Wazazi wameteseka, wanafunzi wameteseka, walimu tumeteseka, tunaamka asubuhi tunapata ujumbe, inakuwa ni vigumu kupangilia. Kwa hivyo ningependa kusisitiza serikali kwamba tunapoendelea na mikakati ya masomo shuleni na vile vile kujipanga na muhula mpya, wacha pawe na ule utaratibu.
Tunaomba serikali Machoku utuambiage mapema ili sisi tusipeleke watoto shule. Watoto wengine walitoka leo asubuhi. Wangu alienda jana. Tunaomba serikali mtusaidie. Hii ni kuwezi pesa na tunatakikana tulipe tena school fee shule.
Ombi letu kama wasasi kwamba kabla kuna kuongezeka ama ongezeko la shule ama masiku ya matarehe ya kufungua shule, afadhali atuambie mapema kama serikali kuliko watangaze kama jana na leo tayari watoto wa kwanza wameshafika kwa shule.
Immigration and Citizen Services Principal Secretary Ambassador Julius Bitok today presided over a workshop on the rollout of vacation of vetting in the border counties. This after President William Ruto directed that vetting be abolished in the borders by the 1st of May, so no Kenyans will be asked to produce an identity card, passport or birth certificate.
A workshop on the occasion of rollout of vacation of vetting in our border counties. As you may be aware, His Excellency the President, on the eve of Eid al-Fitr, directed that vetting be abolished from 1st of May this year. So we called upon a meeting between all the registrars of National Registration Bureau and all the RCs and county commissioners to be able to engage with them on the modalities of implementation of the presidential directive. So I want to assure the country that we are ready and we have put in place strategies and plans to ensure that starting on 1st of May this year, there will be no longer vetting for security, for IDs, for passports, and for birth certificates. All Kenyans will be treated equal, and we have said we are going to utilize technology to ensure that we no longer need vetting. We are encouraging all persons to be registered at birth, or they be registered in school. That will be able to help us to be able to deal with this issue.
A religious organization in Kenol, Murang'a County, is helping women stand up against femicide and gender-based violence, GBV, by helping them rediscover themselves and their abilities, build their capacities, and view themselves as strong and equally important beings able to equally contribute to the societal development. Reverend Eva C.W., the founder of Women of Love,